Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, the returns are an order of magnitude different to the next best performing asset, technology stocks, the Nasdaq. After that, you get to the S&P 500 at 13%, which barely beats that 11% hurdle rate, and nothing else beats it. The long-term returns of small caps, large caps, REITs, treasuries, nothing. They all are destroying your future wealth. But we slowed it down, and we get to 1.1 billion wallets, or users, in inverted commas, by the end of 2025. 1.1 billion. That's huge. But it's not as huge as if we extrapolate out to 2030, that fabled date where I think we've got 6 years to unfuck our future. Either way, expect prices to rise from 150 to 450,000 over the course of this cycle, depending how it pans out. Again, no guarantees here, but just to give you an order of magnitude, filming this today, we're at 75,000. Got it. And then finally,
Bitcoin is going to hit $500,000 in the next few years. Sounds too good to be true, right? But Raoul Pal, one of the sharpest minds in crypto, believes it's already in motion. However, the real secret isn't what you think. Stick around to discover Raoul's game-changing insights, the explosive banana zone, and how to ride this wave all the way to the top. You won't want to miss this.
now here's where the magic happens. Altcoins, as a percentage of total market cap, so it's like the inverse of Bitcoin dominance, actually is driven by the business side. And that's because people take more risks and invest more money when they've got their earnings going up, when people think they've got a bit more money. And that is what drives altcoins. It's the same as small caps in equities. They're all driven by the same basic phenomena, which is the business cycle creates more activity, which creates more investment, which drives prices higher. So we've barely started. As I showed you before, ISM starts going up, altcoins go bananas. Now, when we measure altcoin season by using this 30-day outperformance, underperformance of Bitcoin, we're nowhere. We're still at 39%. That's mid-cycle range. We've got a long way to go. And that's when things get very excited. It tends to be the last 12 months of the 4-year season, that 4-year period. Those last 12 months are where all the returns come, and they lie ahead. Also, total liquidity is breaking out. We see these wedge patterns every time around the same time in the cycle. And then what happens is as soon as it breaks out, Bitcoin breaks out too. We're breaking out now. China is leading it. China's injected $8 trillion of liquidity so far since, I think, October, November 2022. Europeans about $1 trillion, the UK about $1 trillion. The US has actually been about flat, but we expect them to start injecting money soon via the Treasury General account. Okay, Global M2. It's a measure of private money. It leads by 11 weeks, Bitcoin. Perfect. And Bitcoin, banana zone. We keep going. So that looks great. Now, don't get fixated exactly it's going to be 100,000, but it seems in that kind of range. Basically, a strong end to the year and should get even stronger into next year. GMI total liquidity, another fantastic correlation. Same kind of outcomes. Strong Bitcoin into the end of the year, and that's what we're looking for here. Ignore the corrected price action right now on that chart because it hooks up afterwards. So we should just continue over time higher. Okay, are we anywhere near the cycle top? I know people fret, oh my God, but Bitcoin's at all-time high. Surely I'm going to be buying the top. Surely Raoul's shilling things at the top and he's trying to find exit liquidity and all the nonsense that people talk about online. Basically, our cycle liquidity indicator is nowhere near where it's going to go. Also, look at the acceleration that happens before it peaks out. We haven't done anything yet. This has been super mild. So expect the acceleration ahead.
Raoul Pal's insights into Bitcoin and the broader crypto market are nothing short of revolutionary. He predicts that we're entering the banana zone, a period where prices don't just rise, they explode. Bitcoin is poised to soar due to global liquidity injections from China, Europe, and the US, which will drive massive growth. Raoul points out that Bitcoin's long-term returns have outpaced even the Nasdaq, with the potential for prices to hit $150,000 or even $500,000 in this cycle. The growth of crypto wallets is already outpacing internet adoption, with projections reaching 1 billion users by 2025. Raoul advises a conservative approach, keeping 90% of your assets in top-tier coins like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. The remaining 10% can be used to speculate on smaller projects. His key message? Don't get greedy, don't overtrade, and most importantly, don't lose control of your coins during this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
If we look at prior cycles, we're kind of nowhere in the current cycle. We're nowhere. We've still got the exciting part where prices go vertical lying ahead. It's the light blue line here that's a little bit hidden. But really what we're doing is we're more closely following, let's say, the 2015-18 cycle, which I think is how it plays out this time, as opposed to the stunted cycle of 2020. But that remains to be seen. Why this matters is crypto in the end is the best performing asset class in all recorded history. It dwarfs anything else. So Bitcoin does about 142% annualized returns. This is actually a table from Exponential Age Asset Management, my asset management firm that invests in crypto hedge funds. So we invest on behalf of high net worth individuals, pension plans, institutions, etc. And Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, the returns are an order of magnitude different to the next best performing asset technology stocks, the Nasdaq. After that, you get to the S&P 500 of 13%, which barely beats that 11% hurdle rate, and nothing else beats it. The long-term returns of small caps, large caps, REITs, treasuries, nothing. They all are destroying your future wealth. So really, this is the powerful thing, the crypto supermassive black hole that outperforms everything. The Nasdaq actually is down 97.5% versus Bitcoin since 2012. 99.97% versus Bitcoin. So that's how powerful an asset crypto is. This is all about a technology that is growing. So this is a chart of the number of users of crypto by using wallet addresses versus internet users from 1992, when the internet was at 5 million and we started wallets from 5 million. Now, internet users is IP addresses. We've all got many IP addresses. Crypto wallets, well, they're wallets. They're not necessarily daily active users, and we've all got several wallets. So it's comparing a similar like for like. But currently, crypto has been growing at twice the speed of the internet. Now, on this chart, we assume the internet actually slowed down in year 8, 9, and 10. So we've assumed the same rate of growth as the internet, not a doubling of growth. If it was a doubling of growth, it's probably growing at 80% a year, which I think is more likely. But we slowed it down and we get to 1.1 billion wallets or users in inverted commas by the end of 2025. 1.1 billion. Okay, that's huge. But it's not as huge as if we extrapolate out to 2030, that fabled date where I think we've got 6 years to unfuck our future and invest before things change. At that point, crypto starts to become quite saturated in terms of its growth, because suddenly you're at 4 billion users and we can only double in growth to 8 billion users. Yes, on-chain activity will grow and that will drive more metrics and still drive prices, but generally the bulk of the returns happens between now and 2030, which is why I'm so anxious for everybody to make sure that they unfuck their futures doing this. And that's what's driving this beautiful log trend Bitcoin. Over time, number go up because people use blockchain technology because the world is more digital than today. And we've barely started the rise. We usually get to 2 standard deviations overboard. Will we get that far or not? I don't know. If it's 2 standard deviations, we're talking $500,000. That sounds a bit too racy to me. Maybe it gets to 1 standard deviation because each cycle is a little more muted than the past. Either way, expect prices to rise from 150 to 450,000 over the course of this cycle, depending how it pans out. Again, no guarantees here, but just to give you an order of magnitude, and filming this today, we're at 75,000. Okay, and then finally, this is the time to just do nothing. You should have already made your allocation. Maybe a bit of Bitcoin, a bit of Solana, a bit of ETH. Maybe you've gone out a bit the risk curve like I have, and SUI, which is one of the newer chains that's gaining massive adoption. Or maybe you're playing around a bit in memes. But remember to not fuck this up. My don't fuck this up thesis is don't use leverage. Don't FOMO into. Have 90% of your assets in the core top 3 coins. And then with the 10%, you can speculate more, whether you want to have a meme or whether you want to look at some smaller projects. So that's how I like to think about it. That way, you generally won't fuck it up. It's by over trading, trying to trade breakouts, using leverage. Don't use leverage, please, because what happens is you get it wrong and you lose your coin. We have one job here. One job in a secular megatrend like this is not to lose control of your coins. That means don't fuck around too much in DeFi. Don't give your coins to anybody. Just do nothing. Use that 10% if you want to feed your inner DJ or you want to learn new things and how things work, but don't do it with your full stack. Anyway, I hope this helps. The banana zone has arrived.
Raoul Pal isn't just making predictions, he's laying out a roadmap to success. The banana zone is just getting started, and with the next 6 to 12 months looking incredibly promising, the returns could be massive. The key is to stay smart and disciplined. Don't use leverage and don't give up control of your coins. Play it safe with the top 3 coins and let the market do the work. Bitcoin is on the rise and the altcoin market will follow. Are you ready to be a part of this revolution? The opportunity is here, but it won't last forever. Time to take action before the banana zone disappears.